Hi.
So we're talking about Jollywood?
Yeah. So
Not Dollywood, Jollywood.
Jollywood Nights. Okay, so we're talking about Jollywood Nights. The first one happened, new party for the holiday season in Hollywood Studios, and it's not getting great reviews. In fact, it's getting terrible reviews.
Let's hit the high points of the offerings. So
it sounds like the food is good. The food and drinks are really good.
If you can get them.
If you can get them and if you want to stand in line for it. So there's the high point. Sort of.
And the costumes looked really fun that people were wearing.
I think people dressed up in a good way for this, but I saw lots and lots of people not dressed up, so you didn't have to.
I got
a costume.
What did we see that was all positive? I think the only thing I saw that was completely positive was the Disney Holidays. I can't remember the name of the stage show at the Hollywood Bowl.
People say the entertainment from great. The band, like they said, the bands that were like at the Top Club, the piano player at the jazz place, that the entertainment was top notch.
Yeah. The show is well done, and everybody said that was a real highlight. And then even the Nightmare Before Christmas show was really great.
Yeah. It had the puppets.
A big fan. I still really want to go and watch it.
Yeah, it had the puppet from the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party fireworks. And that puppet is impressive. And so that I would like to see that, even though I don't love that movie. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I'm not a sing-along fan, but
I'm not either, and that's not something I'll sing along with because I don't know the tune real well. But I still want to go because it does look like an interesting show and something new that isn't super Christmassy, which sounds weird to say, but because we always just can't decide which way that's going.
Let's talk about the price point. It's about the same. It's not much higher than a after hours at Hollywood Studios, is it?
No, it's about the same price.
Yeah, but at the after hours at Hollywood Studios, you get free drink and free popcorn and free ice cream.
So your trade-off would be a little bit more entertainment,
right?
For the free snacks and drinks.
And really, there's different characters out too. Like at the after hours, you don't have the character meet and greets.
What I did notice is this is more of an adult party.
Yeah,
this didn't seem super kid friendly. Like there wasn't a whole lot. The lines were really low. I think somebody said 35 minutes for the lowest I saw it was 35 minutes for Slinky Dog.
Yeah.
And Brycer's Resistance was like nothing.
And Tower of Terror was nothing too. Like even though you had the Tip Top Club right there.
Right there. It was nothing. You could walk right on, which I won't do. But
she says.
So I think probably how this just kind of guessing the thought process here. Wouldn't you guys guess that it was probably looked at as another different take on a Hollywood Studios after hours event?
Yes.
It was priced accordingly, and probably I would guess what happened because of that. It was probably a lot of it was operationally. It was probably approached in the same manner, and because of that, I don't know that the added entertainment and just some of the different aspects that would be unique to this after hours event were really thought through operationally and staffed accordingly.
Yeah, because the food places are usually closed during the after hours event. And so you now have like this incredible menu that you're offering, but you've only got one place to get this and one place.
You needed to have like a couple of places for the specific like food that you can only get there. And I get that like you can only have one jazz club. Okay, yeah, but have the food available somewhere else just in case people want the food without the experience.
So I think that's kind of how. So you had I think you had that operationally. The parks approached it more like just another after hours event.
Yeah.
For a play, but you had marketing that did a really good job selling this.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Even though when you dug into the details a little bit of the marketing, you might think to yourself, based on if you have like a good history of kind of how these things go at Disney, you would say, oh, how are they going to pull that off to any great degree? I think that's probably like functionally what happened. I expect it to be a little bit different for the next one, only from the perspective of you won't have all the coverage that you had from the first one.
Well, because all the influencers and all of the Disney-esque adults that everybody watches on won't be there for the second one.
And they invited a bunch of people for this one too. There were a lot of people who did pay cash money to go, but they invited a bunch of people.
And a lot of the influencers were there on purpose.
Y'all remind me for after hours, is it a 4-hour block too?
Mm-hmm.
For normal after hours? Yeah. So I think that's probably something that might need to be adjusted a little bit, because when you throw in any kind of entertainment that you need to experience to get the value that you want to get out of this experience or out of this ticket, it's hard to do much of anything else, it sounds like, if you do any of the entertainment stuff. Whereas 4 hours in a pretty much empty park to go ride whatever probably works out okay.
Well, a lot of the people were like, rides were not our main goal. Yeah. It was all of the new stuff. And so I think it overran in a way that wasn't quite they weren't ready for.
But like they were saying that like even the specialty drinks, you couldn't get them. You set up a cash bar somewhere. Exactly. They didn't even do that. And so that it just wasn't planned out really well from that perspective.
I think what disappointed most people, and it's kind of an overarching disappointment, it's that like if you kind of walk it all the way through from like probably the internal thinking, the way they approach this, it probably all made sense. But like I think a lot of people would just expect that a company putting on an event like this that clearly has history in doing these kind of things in the parks probably should have been able to kind of foresee some of what would happen.
I think.
I mean, because you know exactly how many people are coming to a party. You know kind of what the demand's going to be. So I don't know. So I think that's some of the disappointment.
Well,
I think
also
the other thing
just distributing
for some people is
just distributing the bands. Yeah. Some people were like, we were in line for 45 minutes just to get a band.
For a band, people were leaving the park and going through that entrance because it was easier,
shorter, right?
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it because Hollywood Studios to me is one of my favorite parks at Christmas. I mean, the vibe at Christmas there, you know, I'm a vintage nostalgia girl. You know, my grandmother had the 3 little angels that are right there in front of the Hollywood Brown Derby every year. I love that stuff. I just think that the execution was lacking. And I want food. If you're not going to be able to give me food, whether it's free food or food I can pay for, I'm not going to have a good time.
I don't want to stand in line for an hour for it.
Yeah. I think some of this comes back to, I think a lot of like big time fans who have kind of watched these things over the years, over and over and over and over again. I think a lot of people are just kind of to the point too, where they're just ready to like see Disney pull off an event that actually kind of wow. That kind of, well, no, that's not, well, I think more than that. Like, I think they want a Disney event to kind of like wow people again. Yeah. Not always be a deal where you feel like you visit or you participate in something and they do just kind of the bare minimum.
Right.
And this was bare minimum. Like somebody said that even the section that was supposed to have like the Latin music and the Latin dancing was just nothing was there. And Oga's, I thought this was interesting too. Oga's was walk-in. Oga's was open during the party and people could just walk in. And somebody said that would have been a great tie-in to the whole Star Wars Life Day. Like you could have done something there and distributed the people throughout the park.
And it kind of feels like it's kind of stuck in that the Tower of Terror area.
Yeah.
And so while that's great, but that area then gets overrun, and they said the band was kind of in the street, and so it was kind of hard to like get around them. And
what I read, there's nothing going on in Toy Story Playland or in.
Can you imagine some of the cool stuff they could have pulled off and really? And like I said, this seemed very adult centric. But once you pull in like Life Day and Toy Story Christmas and that kind of stuff, you kind of bring out some of the families in that area that aren't necessarily there for the drinks.
But it's all okay because, like, if this podcast is still around next October or November, we'll fix it.
We'll
ready
fix it.
To go.
We're ready to go. But I think we'll come back after Katie and I get back in the end of November, 1st of December. We'll come back and give us our honest review of our like actual experience, because I think that's going to change it, because we're going to have fun because we're there together.
We'll
have fun. And so we will definitely have